MSNBC host and former White House press secretary Jen Psaki feeling the heat this morning after disturbing comments she made about Vice President Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, JD Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you.
Joining us now is Fox News contributor and senior writer for the Washington Examiner, Joe Concha. You know, Joe, the smart aleck in me, I would have gotten up and I would have blinked 5 times. I mean, like, now what are you going to do?
Well said, Ashley. Well, look, let's be clear about this. This is a national primetime host, former White House press secretary. She is engaging in outright slander. I mean, Peppermint Patty here is just making stuff up and has zero idea what she's talking about. I mean, she can't argue about policy, so now she's resorting to fabricated personal attacks. And I would say, well, she should apologize, but that's simply not in her DNA. And remember, this is a former press secretary who once said that Republicans want to defund the police. She insisted the border was safe and secure under Joe Biden. She said when inflation was above 9%, that it was Vladimir Putin's fault. Remember the Putin price hike? That was her narrative. And she said she couldn't keep up with Joe Biden when he was president because he was so vigorous and sharp. And by the way, she negotiated with a major network while she was press secretary, which is a big no-no ethically. So right now, she deserves all the criticism she's getting talking about the vice president and his wife. By all appearances, they seem very happily married, but this is the kind of stuff we're hearing from the left these days. It's all foam and no beer, Todd.
And you nailed the key part of this about why she should receive a lot of pushback on this. And I hate to try and rationalize what she said in any way, shape, or form, but I don't understand it. Both the Manchurian candidate thing with regard to JD Vance. I mean, a Manchurian candidate is somebody who is weak and can be controlled. Does anybody think JD Vance is weak in any way, shape, or form, even if you don't like him? And with regard to Usha Vance, here is a strong professional woman who is making a decision to support her husband for the benefit of the nation. She doesn't look like she's a hostage in any way, shape, or form to me. And yet, yet you see Jen Psaki there, and the two people she's talking to this podcast like agree in lockstep, like this is something that is obvious. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Manchurian, that's a great point, Todd, where, again, this is somebody who, coming out of a broken home, then joins the Marines, then after that goes to Ohio State University, graduates in 2.5 years, or 2 years prior than I did, then, goes on to become a senator, write a best-selling book, have a movie made about that book, becomes vice president of the United States by the age of 40. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that things are going okay, and obviously he's shown as vice president that he's anything but weak. And again, Usha Vance, JD Vance, there is zero reporting on any problems with the marriage. She just took that out of thin air to get a soundbite for herself because Jen Psaki wanted to make herself the story.
You know, it's pretty rich that the Democrats are doing this. Now they're trying to infiltrate these people's personal lives. Like, leave them alone. I don't know why they want to do this. I feel like they're trying to do the same thing to RFK and his wife. And I feel like this, you don't see the Republicans doing this to the Democrats, Joe.
Oh, yeah, of course, because Republicans seem to want to talk about policy and things that matter to the American people. When you get personal, you're losing the argument. And you're so right about RFK Jr. and Cheryl Hines. That's always a big topic of conversation as well. I just think that we should be above this sort of stuff. But as we saw during the No Kings protests, where a woman literally was mocking Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck, you had people, several on interviews now we're seeing emerging, of people wishing death on the president, on the vice president. Again, we're in such a toxic time right now, and I just wish that we could just get back to, okay, we disagree, but let's find areas where we could compromise, like Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan did, and even Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton back in the 90s as well. Now we just have personal attacks and ad hominem stuff, and it's just toxic. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, I want to end on a happy note. So, Ashley, good to see you again. How are you? How's the kid?
An important point, though. You make such an important point. What if Kayleigh McEnany had come out and attacked Kamala Harris? I mean, we would be in a completely different situation, but that's the media for you. Joe, got to leave it there.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.